Hip-hop since 1987.com.
Terrell Thomas, hip-hop since 1987. It's a beautiful day down here. We're at the gathering spot downtown Atlanta. I'm with the one and only Mr. T.I., and you're doing something great, giving back to the hip-hop community, something you're no stranger to, with a new special that'll actually be airing on Netflix. It's called Rhythm and Flow. So talk to me about what made you decide to actually want to give back and be a judge. You're a judge in this instance on some cats who are looking to extend their careers into the entertainment realm. So what made you decide to get into this world?
Well, initially it was the bag.
Okay, I respect that.
Initially it was the bag. However, even the bag in high consideration, careful consideration, I still knew that this format of a show had been attempted and failed so many times. So, very important to me. It was extremely important to me that we weren't just another failed attempt. So I spoke to the producers who presented the opportunity to me in Jesse Collins, and Jesse Collins Productions, also in association with John Legend and other producers as well. But I spoke to Jesse personally and was like, yo, if we're gonna do it, it's gonna have to be authentic. And it's not gonna be able to just be some, Fox Network, CBS, ABC, BET, MTV, no cursing version of what it's like to find the next hip hop superstar. I think this, and we actually he instead of evading those concerns, he sat down with me, and I'm sure Cardi and Chance had the same opportunity. We sat down with me and we kind of created a list of things, like what makes you think, he asked me, what makes you think those other shows failed? And so we kind of made a list and checked the boxes, and I started running out of reasons to not do it.
Now, it's also something different as far as you working with Cardi B and Chance the Rapper. What was it like, the experience working with them?
Man, I was impressed, you know what I mean, with their level of acumen and just how, the perspectives that they spoke from. We're all each so different, and I think each of our points are much needed in not just this show, but in the culture.
Was there something about you doing this show that made you decide or gave you a spark to do your podcast? Because I know you're doing a podcast as well right now, and it's already taking off the rave reviews. Was it something when you sat down at Netflix and decided to be the judge on the show that sparked you let me get into the podcast realm, or is this something that you had brewing all along?
Nah, I had no intentions and no expectations to ever be in the podcast world. Podcast One reached out to my manager, Brian Scher, and invited us into their office, and I sat down with the chairman and the CEO of Podcast One, and they just, I guess based off of my presence on Instagram, just offered me the opportunity. Hey, how would you ever thought about doing a podcast? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, we'd love to have you. And I was like, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? I never really listened to podcasts. I mean, I see what is it, State of the Culture.
Okay.
With Joe Buttons and them and Remy Ma. I watched clips of that, and even the other one that Joe has where he's sitting on the couch with the artwork in the back. I've watched clips of that. I've been on Drink Champs, but I've never seen a whole one. So I mean, I get the concept kind of. Oh, Breakfast Club. I watched clips of those, but I'd never really listened to an entire podcast, in the car, listening to someone talk all the way from one destination to the next. I'd never done that. Didn't understand the concept. I didn't know how to monetize it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, where does the money come from? How do we? Oh, ad revenue. Okay. So you mean the more people I get to tune into my podcast, the more I can charge people to market and promote their items. It kind of sounds like a television network. You know what I mean? So then, you know what I'm saying, my wheels started turning, and, you know, we started just trying to creatively put things together. And I think, man, we came up with something that was missing. You know what I mean? And I think that's in any industry, to achieve success, you got to find a need to be served. Every business is supply and demand.
I'm quite sure some of the contestants, you know, their initial thoughts were probably to try to impress you with looks or try to impress you with a certain swagger. But in a situation like that, when you're looking for the next superstar, what are you looking for in an artist? What are you looking for? Someone who's been through the ropes, you've come from the bottom, you've employed others, and now you have a platform to which you can search for the next superstar. So what do you look for when you're looking for that superstar?
Authenticity, individuality, vision of how they want their art to be created, and skill, like a lyrical skill set, like a high lyrical skill set.
If they have that, do you think that if they have that hustle, they have the ability to become the next superstar? Are there any other keys that go along with that as well?
I think it all boils down to being hot and working hard. You dig what I'm saying? But understand this competition is not just like a one-layered competition. You had everything from ciphers to freestyles to creating a video to collaborations to creating to choosing a sample, create a beat, and do an original song with a producer, A-list producer, to creating an entire award show worthy performance with pyro and LED and, you know what I mean, dancers, and each of them, as the challenges progressed, had to tap into a different acumen of creativity.
What's next for T.I.? We know that you'll be taking off, of course, with Netflix. This is actually, you can catch it today. You can catch it on Wednesday. It'll be airing every Wednesday for the next few weeks. But after Rhythm and Flow, what's next for T.I.? We see you getting into the production realm as far as films and series. We see you with the podcast now, maybe a new project. What's next for you?
Real estate development. You know, not far from here, maybe about 2-3 miles down the road. I have a piece of land that I will be developing a multi-family mixed use, about a 200-unit community with a community garden, and, you know, about 21,000 square feet of retail, and offering an experience, a living experience that hasn't been available in my community in quite some time. And, you know, I'm excited about that. Also, Dolomite is my name. I have a scene with Eddie Murphy, you know what I'm saying? Okay. It's a highlight of my career. Let's see, what else is there? I mean, I think we'll just leave it right there for now. There's other things that I want to talk about, but I don't know if it's time yet. So we're going to leave it right there.
Okay. We'll check back in and see what you got going on in a few months. Once again, Terrell Thomas, we're live right here at the Gathering Spot, downtown Atlanta. If you don't have Netflix, make sure you get Netflix so you can check out everything.
Borrow your baby mama account, man.
There you go.
I done spoke to the power to be. They don't mind, you know what I'm saying? They count for just as many streams and analytics. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got now, just borrow it to watch our show. And then, you know, if you like the show, then you can, you know what I'm saying, you can subscribe, you know.
Rhythm and Flow, check it out on Netflix.
HipHop since 1987.com.